Elon Musk's 5-year-old son just tweeted something from his father's account, and what he revealed shocked the entire world. But the twist? Elon didn't stop him, and what happened next might be the most human moment the billionaire has ever shown. The world knows him as the architect of the future, the man who made electric cars cool, sent rockets beyond Earth, and dared to dream of Mars as humanity's next home. Elon Musk, the billionaire genius, often looks untouchable from the outside. But on one quiet Sunday evening in Texas, he wasn't an icon. He was just a father. And for once, he felt powerless. The sun was setting slowly over the Musk estate, bathing everything in a golden-orange glow. It was the kind of light that makes even the quietest moments feel like they're holding their breath. On the back patio, 5-year-old X-AEA-12, Elon's youngest son, whom he simply called X, was completely lost in his own universe. He zoomed toy rockets through the air, mimicking liftoff sounds and shouting imaginary countdowns. 3, 2, 1. Mars. Inside, Elon sat at the edge of a sleek, leather sofa, still in his usual black t-shirt and jeans. His elbows were pressed against his knees, his hands clenched. The flicker of sunlight didn't warm his face, the glow of a phone screen did. On that screen was a message. Final. Non-negotiable. The decision he had been avoiding for weeks had now landed like a hammer on his chest. It was a request, no, a demand from the Neuralink board, full-time leadership presence at headquarters. A dangerous experimental mishap had occurred in the lab. The media didn't know yet, but it was bad. The kind of bad that could destroy the company, the trust of investors, and possibly more. Regulatory bodies were circling like vultures, and the team needed one man to face them, Elon. But this wasn't just about business. Elon knew that accepting this meant one thing: stepping back from being present in his children's lives for an undefined period. Possibly months. Possibly more. It wouldn't just be distance. It would be absence. And in the quiet ache of that realization, something in him cracked. He leaned forward, placed the phone gently on the table, and covered his face with his hands. That's when he heard the soft patter of feet behind him. "Papa, why are you crying?" The voice was small, pure, curious but not afraid. Elon looked up, startled. He hadn't even heard the sliding door open. There stood X, clutching a rocket in one hand, a stuffed dragon in the other. His head tilted slightly, eyes wide, trying to read the emotion on his father's face like a puzzle. Elon hesitated. He was a man of logic. He could explain orbital physics or AI models with precision. But now he didn't know how to explain heartbreak to a child. "I'm not crying," he said quietly, clearing his throat. But the evidence said otherwise. His eyes were red, his face pale. X climbed up next to him on the sofa without asking and placed the rocket in his father's lap. "You can hold this if it helps," he said. That simple gesture, innocent and full of love, hit Elon harder than anything that had happened in the boardroom. He picked up the rocket and turned it slowly in his hand. "You know," Elon finally said, "sometimes even grown-ups feel like they're being pulled by gravity, like their heart wants to stay in one place, but something big and heavy is pulling them somewhere else." "Like space?" X asked. "Exactly like space," Elon said, smiling faintly. There was a silence. Then X asked, "Are you going away?" Elon didn't answer at first. His eyes moved to the phone again. The message was still glowing. He reached for it, unlocked it, and quickly typed something. Then he stood up, walked over to the glass window, and stared out at the fiery orange sky. That's when the phone buzzed again. This time, the message wasn't from the Neuralink board. It was from Grimes. "If you leave now, you might not see him turn 6. Elon read it twice. Another message arrived instantly. "We've lived with your missions. Now you need to live with this moment. Be a father, just for today." Elon turned back. X was pretending to launch another toy into the air, making space sounds again. But this time his energy had dimmed. His eyes kept flickering toward his dad, unsure, searching for something. And then, without warning, Elon walked over, sat down beside him again, and pulled him into a quiet hug. X didn't resist. "I don't want to go," Elon whispered, barely audible. "But I think I have to." X looked up. "Will you still see the moon with me at night?" Elon paused. And just then, the lights flickered, power briefly surged. The house's AI system stuttered for a second. Elon's phone slipped from his hand and clattered to the floor. He reached down to pick it up, but froze. The screen was black. The world's richest man, humbled by a single sentence, not written by a PR team, not part of a press conference, but typed unknowingly by a 5-year-old with small fingers and a big heart. "Papa is sad today. He says goodbye a lot." Posted from Elon Musk's official account. Seen by over 30 million people in the first hour. At first, no one believed it was real. Speculation flooded the internet. Was it a hack? A marketing stunt? An emotional outburst? But just as the rumor mill spun faster, Musk's silence confirmed the truth. He didn't delete the post. Didn't comment. Didn't even deny it. Inside the Musk residence, the atmosphere was different now. Grimes had seen the post while scrolling on her tablet and froze. She turned toward Elon. "You let him post that?" she asked sharply. "I didn't let him. Elon hesitated. "It just happened." Grimes didn't speak for a long moment. Then quietly, "That post, it's truer than anything you've ever shared." Outside the house, the wind began to pick up. A sudden gust rattled the trees. It felt symbolic, as if the world was reacting to that one fragile truth spoken by a child. But then the twist. Elon's phone rang, not a regular call. It was the Neuralink emergency line. Only 5 people had access to it. He stepped into the hallway to answer. The voice on the other end was calm but tense. "There's been a breach. Not external, internal. One of the test subjects is showing aggressive neurological patterns, and we think the data may have been tampered with." Elon's jaw clenched. "How bad?" "Bad enough that if the regulators find out before we do something, Neuralink could be shut down." There it was, the gravity he feared. The reason he had made the hard choice in the first place. But that wasn't the worst part. The voice continued, lower now. "There's more. Someone in the company leaked a private recording of you from last week's meeting." Elon froze. The video was already trending, snippets of Musk speaking about sacrificing family time for the greater good. But in the raw, unedited version, he had said something even more haunting. "I'd trade birthdays, memories, even bedtime stories if it means humanity has a future." Now it was public. Now the world knew what he was willing to give up. Back inside, X was sitting with Grimes, still clutching the toy rocket. He didn't fully understand what had happened, but he knew something had changed. His dad was on more phone calls, talking faster, moving quicker. Then came another unexpected twist. A second post appeared, again from Elon's official account. "If I could pause time, I'd do it for him. But I can't. So I build instead." No one knew if Elon had posted it himself, or if X had done it again. The internet erupted with theories. Some said it was Musk trying to control the damage. Others believed the boy had once again shared something deep without knowing the weight of his words. But those close to him knew Elon was torn in two. His mind in Neuralink, his heart in that living room. A father at war with a mission. And outside, the wind turned cold. The kitchen was quiet. Too quiet for a house that usually hummed with humming machines and distant robot whirs. Even the AI assistant stayed silent, sensing the tension that hung like a storm cloud overhead. Elon Musk stood at the edge of the dining table, staring at the carefully arranged plates. Grimes had prepared X's favorite meal, mac and cheese shaped like stars and moons, a small nod to his obsession with space. X was already seated, legs dangling from the high chair, humming to himself as he poked at his food with a rocket-shaped fork. But Elon hadn't touched his plate. He wasn't hungry. His mind wasn't there. The Neuralink crisis was growing. Internally, the board was losing trust. Publicly, regulators were circling like sharks. And now, the unexpected emotional wildfire started by his son's innocent post had made things worse. Some praised him. Some accused him of using his child for sympathy. And somewhere in the chaos, he had lost track of something that now hit him like a crashing wave. His son's birthday was in 6 days. A moment passed. Elon finally broke the silence. "Hey, buddy," he said, trying to sound cheerful. "Did you launch any rockets today?" X looked up, blinking. "No, I was waiting for you." Elon swallowed hard. Another silence. Grimes finally spoke. "You're leaving tomorrow morning, aren't you?" Elon didn't answer at first. He just nodded. X tilted his head. "Where are you going now?" Elon looked at his son, the weight of 1,000,000 responsibilities behind his eyes. "There's something important I need to fix," he said gently. "Something only I can do." X stared at him for a moment and then asked, "More important than my birthday?" The words felt like a gut punch. Elon opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked to Grimes for help, but she just folded her arms and stared down at her plate. The room went cold. Then came a twist Elon hadn't expected. X stood up on his chair, reached into his pocket, and pulled out something small, a silver ring with the Tesla logo, slightly modified. Elon recognized it instantly. It was a prototype, a personal haptic communicator he'd been working on for fun, something meant to transmit light pressure signals between 2 rings like a long-distance heartbeat. "I fixed this," X said, proudly placing it on the table. "I made it so if I press it, it buzzes on your hand. That way, if I miss you, you'll know." Elon picked up the tiny ring, shocked. "You did this?" he asked softly. X nodded. "You showed me how. I just copied." And then, twisting the emotional knife deeper, X added, "But what if I press it, and you're too busy to feel it?" Elon's hands trembled. He slipped the second ring, the twin to the one on the table, from his pocket and held it tight. He had no answer. Suddenly, the house lights dimmed again. The AI's voice broke in gently. "Elon, you have an incoming call from Washington. It's urgent." Grimes glared. "Don't pick it up." Elon froze. The phone vibrated. The screen read, Federal Bioethics Commission. He let it buzz. Then, with trembling fingers, he placed the ring back in X's hand and whispered, "I will always feel it, even if I can't show it." But the truth? He wasn't even sure he believed himself anymore. By morning, the world had already changed. The post by Elon Musk's 5-year-old son was now the most shared message in the history of X.com. "Papa is sad today. He says goodbye a lot." It was short, childlike, misspelled, and yet it broke the internet. News outlets called it the human moment. Analysts labeled it a rare breach in the Musk armor. Celebrities, influencers, scientists, even political figures. Everyone had something to say. But what shook the public even more than the post itself was what happened next. Grimes, silent until now, posted a photo on her private account, a blurry but powerful shot of X sitting at the window, holding the silver ring in his palm, staring at the sky. The caption read, "He waits." That 2-word post turned into a cultural wildfire. Within an hour, #HeWaits was trending globally, not just as a hashtag, but as a movement. Parents began posting photos of their children holding notes. Former tech employees began sharing stories about missing birthdays and family events under the pressure of Silicon Valley's hustle grind. Even ex-employees from Tesla and SpaceX began to comment, cryptic messages at first, then more direct. "Now we know what he gave up to build Mars," one user wrote. Another, "The cost of the future shouldn't be a child's bedtime." But not all responses were sympathetic. Musk's critics pounced. He built X, now it's speaking back. Another billionaire who forgot what being human means. Talk show hosts mocked him. Late-night comedians ran segments reenacting the moment with child actors and fake rocket ships. Even rival CEOs posted veiled jabs. But none of it seemed to get a response. Elon Musk, the man who tweeted through SEC lawsuits and crypto crashes, had gone completely silent. That silence only deepened the mystery. Was he hiding? Regretful? Planning his next move? Behind the scenes, something darker was unfolding. On the same day #HeWaits hit 100 million impressions, a leak surfaced. A whistleblower, reportedly from inside Neuralink, released a private audio clip from a closed-door meeting between Elon and top project engineers. In the recording, Elon's voice is cold, robotic. There's no time for emotion. The mission is bigger than birthdays. We're playing with the brain, the soul. We either win this or humanity stays in the dark. The audio spread like wildfire. Conspiracy theories flooded the internet. Was Neuralink experimenting on humans already? Were ethical lines being crossed? Was Musk finally cracking under the pressure? That night, Elon stood alone in his office. The silver ring pulsed on his hand. Once, twice. A soft buzz. X was thinking about him. Missing him. Maybe even pressing the ring just to ask, "Are you still there?" He stared at it. Then at the hundreds of messages pouring into his inbox. Some threats, some desperate cries for his attention. And just then, another unexpected twist. A notification from the AI assistant appeared on the large wall screen. Anonymous user uploaded a video to your private folder. Encryption key confirmed. Elon tapped it open. The video began with static, then faded into a scene shot in the living room back home. X standing in front of the camera, holding a hand-drawn picture, a rocket with 3 people inside. Elon, X, and a third figure. "Me, Papa, and someone who never leaves," the boy said. Then he looked into the camera, smiled sadly, and added, "If you go too far, will you forget the way home?" The screen froze. Elon stared. For the first time in days, he didn't think about Neuralink, or investors, or Mars. He only thought of that question. 3 days had passed since the video from X arrived. 3 long days of silence, both inside Elon Musk's home and within himself. He had buried himself in work. Neuralink, SpaceX, and Tesla meetings continued without pause. He barely slept, barely spoke. His mind moved like a machine, but his heart was somewhere else, stuck on a loop, replaying his son's words. "If you go too far, will you forget the way home?" No response. No call back. Just the ring, silent on his hand. But on the night of X's 6th birthday, something unexpected happened. At exactly 9 p.m., the skies above Elon's Texas estate began to shimmer. It started with a low hum. Then, one by one, hundreds of drones lit up the sky, forming glowing blue dots across the darkness. Neighbors thought it was a SpaceX test. Passers-by pulled over, filming on their phones. But as the pattern grew, it became clear. This wasn't a test flight. It was a message. The drones formed 3 words in perfect precision. "Happy birthday, Commander X." Inside the house, Grimes and X stepped out to the balcony, eyes wide. The display continued, the drones shifting shape into a glowing rocket, then a heart, and finally, "From Papa, I never left." X gasped and clutched the silver ring. His fingers trembled. Suddenly the ring buzzed, softly but unmistakably. He looked down at it, then up at the sky, and whispered, "He's still with me." But the moment wasn't just for them. Across the world, people watching the drone show online couldn't believe it. News anchors reported live. Social media exploded. Some praised Musk for his grand gesture. Others accused him of hiding behind theatrics instead of showing up in person. And no one knew where Elon was. The truth? He wasn't at Neuralink. He wasn't at SpaceX. He wasn't even in Texas. He was sitting alone in a private hangar, watching the display unfold from a small tablet screen. A voice buzzed in his earpiece, one of his pilots. "Sir?" Jet is ready. Should we head to DC? Elon didn't respond. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something wrapped in cloth, the drawing X had made. The rocket with 3 people inside. He stared at it, then at the ring on his hand. And finally he made a decision. No, not DC tonight. He stood up. We're flying home. An hour later, the house was quiet again. The drones had vanished. Grimes was putting X to bed when the front door unlocked with a soft hiss. Small footsteps pattered down the hallway. And there he was, Elon Musk, standing in the doorway, a little unsure, like a man arriving at a place he wasn't sure he was welcome anymore. X blinked, surprised. You came back? Elon knelt down and opened his hand. In his palm a new ring. This one with both their initials etched inside. Now we both feel it, he said. Forever. X hugged him tight. And for the first time in weeks, Elon Musk, the man obsessed with the future, finally lived in the present. As rockets launch and empires rise, even the man trying to colonize Mars had to answer one question no machine could solve. Can you save the world without losing your own? So tell us, was this the beginning of a softer Musk, or just a brief orbit back to Earth?